You've called, you've texted, and all you hear is silence. She's not picking up. She's not replying. And you're starting to think, maybe she doesn't care anymore. She's distant, cold, and you feel like she's already forgotten you. But here's the truth. She hasn't. She thinks about you every night. And yet, she still doesn't call back. That's the part that hurts the most, doesn't it? You keep asking yourself, why won't she just say something? Why won't she just pick up? You replay every moment in your head, searching for the reason. You feel powerless, like your entire worth is hanging on her next reply. And that, my friend, is where you're losing yourself. The Stoics taught that no one can steal your peace unless you hand it to them. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Right now, your mind is chained to her silence, and that's why you feel so weak. But her silence is not rejection. It's not the end of your story. It's a test of your self-worth, your patience, and your ability to control what truly matters. Your own mind. This video is not about getting her back. This is about getting yourself back. Because the man who doesn't crumble in silence, the man who stays grounded when ignored, is the man she will never forget. So if she's not answering, stop chasing, stop begging, stop waiting by the phone. Because in the time you spend waiting for her, you could be becoming the man that no woman could ever ignore. Today, I'm going to share with you 7 Stoic truths that will turn her silence into your strength, rebuild your confidence, and make you unstoppable, not just in love, but in life. Number 1, stop trying to control the uncontrollable. This is the first truth you must burn into your mind if you want to regain your strength and dignity. Epictetus said, "Some things are in our control and others not." Her phone, her emotions, her decisions. These are hers, not yours. The moment you try to grab what isn't yours to hold, you place your happiness in the hands of another person. That is the beginning of emotional slavery. Every second you waste checking your phone, replaying the last conversation, or imagining what she's thinking, you are draining the very energy you need to rebuild your life. When she doesn't reply, stop treating it like a personal rejection. See it for what it truly is: information. That silence tells you something about her priorities, her state of mind, or perhaps the state of the relationship. But it is not a verdict on your worth. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that freedom doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from mastering your response to it. When you accept that her actions are outside your command, you begin to reclaim your own. That's where emotional power begins. Let her silence be a reminder to turn inward. You control your thoughts, your energy, your purpose. You choose whether to spiral into insecurity or stand firm in self-respect. This is your life. You are the author of it. And no unanswered call can rewrite your value. Detach from the illusion that you can bend someone's will. Instead, focus on becoming the kind of man who doesn't need anyone else's constant attention to feel whole. Because when you stop chasing what you can't control, you finally gain control over yourself. And that is the kind of strength no one can take away. Number 2, detach your worth from her attention. Because the moment your sense of value depends on whether she texts back, you've already surrendered your power. If her silence makes you feel unworthy, it's not her doing. It's the story you've told yourself. You've placed your identity, your confidence, and your self-image in her hands. And that is the most dangerous position a man can be in. A Stoic knows that value is not assigned by someone else's approval. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Think about that. You were born with dignity. You were born with potential. That doesn't vanish just because one person fails to acknowledge it. Her attention, her affection, her replies. These are fleeting, unpredictable, and often based on her own mood or circumstances. But self-respect? That is eternal if you guard it. The less you rely on her validation, the more you tap into a deeper, unshakable confidence. When she is silent, don't let your mind run to thoughts of inadequacy. Instead, remind yourself, my worth is not up for debate. You are more than her response. You are more than the space between your messages and hers. When you detach your self-worth from her attention, you stop riding the roller coaster of her moods. You begin to walk on steady ground, your ground. And here's the truth. People are drawn to those who don't beg for their approval. They are drawn to those who carry themselves like they already belong wherever they are. The moment you stop needing her attention is the moment you become magnetic. She may notice, she may not. But either way, you'll have something far greater. Your power, your self-respect, and a calm that no one can shake. That is the foundation of a man who cannot be broken. Number 3, recognize the power of silence. Silence is not weakness. It's one of the most potent weapons you have. In a world where most people react instantly, silence is power. If she's silent, you be silent too. Not out of spite, not out of passive aggression, but out of strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You always own the option of having no opinion." That means you own the choice to engage or not. And sometimes, saying nothing speaks louder than any words you could send. When you mirror her lack of response, you're not playing games. You're setting boundaries. You're showing that your emotions are not on a leash, ready to be yanked at will. You're sending a clear message without saying a single word. I am not dependent on you for my peace. Here's the truth. When you chase silence with desperation, you feed the imbalance. You make her the center of control. But when you match her quiet with your own, you take that power back. This isn't about ego. It's about self-respect. Silence is the great equalizer. It keeps you from saying things you'll regret, and it forces others to reflect on their own actions. The balance of power shifts the moment you stop chasing. Suddenly, you're no longer reacting, you're choosing, and choice is freedom. Your silence tells her, and the world, that you are not a man who needs constant reassurance to feel secure. You are a man who can stand still in uncertainty, who can let time pass without losing his center. Understand this. People notice when you stop running after them. They notice when you stop filling the gaps in conversation. And often, that's when they come back, because they feel the weight of your absence. But whether she returns or not doesn't matter. What matters is that you stayed in control, guarded your energy, and proved to yourself that you can hold your ground in the face of anyone's silence. That is true strength. Number 4, focus on becoming irresistible without her. When she's not answering, you have 2 choices: wait for her or work on yourself. Waiting keeps you stuck. Working on yourself makes you unstoppable. This is where most men go wrong. They sit in uncertainty, checking their phone, letting days slip away. But a Stoic man redirects that energy inward. He builds his body, sharpens his mind, and upgrades his lifestyle. Seneca said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." If you're constantly preparing, you'll always be ready when opportunity knocks. And it won't matter whether it's her or someone better. Your goal is not to win her back. It's to become so magnetic that losing her doesn't even register as a setback. Hit the gym, not just for muscles, but for discipline. Read books, not just for knowledge, but for wisdom. Refine your appearance, not for vanity, but for self-respect. Every action you take to elevate yourself increases your value in the eyes of the world and in your own eyes. Here's the irony. The better you become, the less her silence matters. And yet, that's exactly when she's most likely to notice you again. People are drawn to progress. They can't ignore someone who's clearly leveling up. But your growth should never be about baiting her back. It's about building a life so fulfilling that her attention becomes a bonus, not a necessity. When you focus on becoming irresistible without her, you remove the weight of her opinion from your shoulders. You step into a version of yourself that commands respect naturally. Whether she returns or not is irrelevant, because you've already won. You've created a life where you are the prize. And when you truly understand that, her silence no longer feels like rejection. It feels like freedom. Number 5. Train emotional discipline. Losing control of your emotions is like handing your enemy the sword. You give them the power to wound you. In relationships, especially when faced with silence, emotional discipline is everything. If you let frustration, anger, or desperation take over, you've already lost the battle. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Her silence isn't the true cause of your pain. Your interpretation of it is. You decide whether it's rejection, disrespect, or simply space. When you master your perspective, you master your feelings. Emotional discipline means pausing before you react, breathing before you speak, and thinking before you send that message you'll regret. It's choosing restraint over impulse, logic over chaos. The man who can remain calm when provoked is a man who commands respect. This doesn't mean you suppress your emotions. It means you control them instead of letting them control you. Every moment of silence is a test, an opportunity to prove that your sense of self isn't dictated by someone else's attention. By refusing to let emotions drive your behavior, you keep the power in your hands. You show that your peace is untouchable, your self-worth unshaken. This is the essence of Stoic strength. Not to be unmoved like stone, but to move only when it serves your purpose. And when you train this discipline daily, her silence becomes just another wave in the ocean, and you remain the unshakable shore. Number 6. Understand the psychology of space. When you stop calling, stop texting, and truly give her space, you tap into a powerful psychological principle. Absence creates value. People are far more likely to notice what's missing than what's always there. If you're constantly present, constantly available, she never has the chance to experience life without you. And if she never experiences life without you, she can't miss you. Human nature is wired to crave what feels scarce, not what's endlessly on tap. By stepping back, you're not punishing her. You're creating contrast. You're allowing silence to speak louder than any words could. This is why so many relationships reignite after distance. Curiosity replaces certainty. She begins to wonder what you're doing, who you're with, and why you're no longer seeking her attention. That shift in dynamic is magnetic. But here's the key. This space must be real. Fake detachment, where you secretly stalk her online or drop subtle hints, won't have the same effect. Real space means redirecting your focus completely toward your own growth, goals, and life. As Epictetus taught, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Her attention, her actions, her response, all beyond your control. What's in your control is how you respond, how you live, and how you carry yourself. Space gives her the room to rediscover your value, but it also gives you the chance to rediscover yourself. And when you return to her world, if you choose to, you'll return as a man stronger, sharper, and more self-assured than the one who left. That is the power of distance. Number 7. Build a life she has to come back to. If she's lying in bed at night thinking about you, it means you've already left an imprint on her mind. But thoughts alone won't pull her back. Action will. And the only way to inspire action is to create a life so full, so magnetic, that returning to it feels irresistible. This isn't about petty games or trying to spark jealousy. It's about becoming the kind of man whose presence is naturally compelling. Build a life that's rich in purpose, adventure, and growth. Fill your days with pursuits that excite you, people who inspire you, and goals that challenge you. When you live with passion, it radiates from you. She'll sense it, not because you're broadcasting it to her, but because it becomes who you are. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Your lifestyle should speak louder than any text you could send. When you're thriving, you create a gravitational pull. People, not just her, are drawn to energy, confidence, and momentum. So travel, learn new skills, build your career, hit your fitness goals, deepen your friendships. Every step you take toward a better life adds weight to your presence. And if she decides to step back into your world, it won't be because you begged, waited, or tried to convince her. It will be because the life you've built is simply too good to ignore. And here's the truth. Even if she never comes back, you still win. Because the man who builds a life worth returning to is the man who doesn't need her to complete it. That's the ultimate power. Her silence is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your transformation. The Stoics remind us, you control your worth, you control your peace, you control your mind, and when a man masters himself, the world eventually has no choice but to notice. So, stand up, rebuild, strengthen your mind, sharpen your body, and fill your life with purpose. Not for her, not to prove anything to anyone, but for you, because you are the foundation of everything you want. And when you stop chasing, you stop bleeding energy. And that's when people, opportunities, and even the ones who once left, start moving toward you. If these words have lit a fire in you, share them with a brother who needs to hear them. And if you're ready for more unfiltered truths the world avoids, hit subscribe. Because here, we speak the language of strength, silence, and self-mastery.